All right, in this video, I want to talk and share with you right now what I'm finding is the number one single biggest mistake that providers in general, whether it be a physical therapist or an occupational therapist or a speech therapist, are doing as it relates to remote therapeutic monitoring. Right, this new exciting program that was released 2 years ago for the rehabilitation professionals allows us to monitor patients, home exercise programs. The whole point is to increase engagement, and of course, there's a financial incentive to do that, right? Which is great, and I talk to practices every day. In fact, I just had three Zoom calls this morning helping other people implement remote therapeutic monitoring in their practices. I've done it in my own private practice. I now have a company called Movement-RX that's doing that to help people across the country. And it's very interesting what I'm seeing. And so, the number one biggest single mistake that I'm seeing right now with RTM, with physical therapists, is only capturing the first two codes that are related to giving the patient, essentially a digital home program. We'll call those the tech codes. There's a setup and then there's a monthly data transmission code. And so they're doing that and they're not doing the monitoring that goes along with it. The monitoring meaning actually looking to see, is the patient doing the homework? Are they participating? Are they engaging with the patient, talking with them on the phone, chatting with them back and forth through the software. That communication time is the actual monitoring, right? And that's not happening. And so it's across the industry. And so how do I know that? Well, I suspected it as every week, every day, I'm talking to practices that are trying to learn more about RTM. And of course, we offer software, and then we have service providers that work remotely that actually do the monitoring for these clinics. But I'll tell you a little story. So I had an opportunity to talk with a large EMR company, one of the largest, and we're trying to integrate with them. We're trying to have a relationship with them. We believe in what they're doing, and they have an RTM software, but we're taking an angle that we think our software is way better than their software. And we also have remote providers, and they don't. And so we're talking about that. And I said, I bet you that the majority of the practices that you are working with, they're using your software to do RTM. I bet you they're doing this number one single biggest mistake. They're only generating the technology-based codes, and they're not doing the monitoring, which means they're not getting the patient engagement, they're not seeing the improvement outcomes, and they're also not getting the financial incentive. And they said, well, how, as we're doing our, Zoom call with them, how would you be able to tell that your theory is correct? And I said, well, really easily. Do you have access to all the codes that your customers, right? All these physical therapy clinics across the country, do you have access to the codes they bill? And they said, we sure do. And I said, well, just run a simple report. There's only 4 RTM codes, right? The first 2 codes are technology based, the setup. And so we started there. Let's run a setup. What is the total number of setup codes that you've had in 2024? And this was in the millions. Millions of these codes were billed. And then I said, I want to see another report that shows the first 20 minutes of monitoring. So that's the 98980 code. I want to see how many of those units were billed. So we had like 3 million setup codes in 2024, and we had less than 10,000 timed monitoring codes. So there you go. What's the ratio? 3 million to 10,000. Not good, right? So that shows you that industry wide in 2024, therapists are not doing the right thing. They're not doing it the right way. They're just taking advantage of these $50 a month or whatever. And I even saw an RTM company that only provides the codes for the setup uh, and monthly. So they're only generating the technology-based codes. Their system doesn't even allow you to track and monitor. And so that's not the spirit of the program. The spirit of the program is to like have a relationship with the patient, increase engagement, let them know that you're watching and that you're always there to help them, having the difficult conversation about maybe why they're not being as compliant as you want, they're not as engaged. And so I just think that what's going to end up happening, in my opinion, is that um, the insurance company is incentivizing us right now to do this program to increase the engagement, which should increase outcomes, right? Help them save money. Medicare, that's really the only insurance company that cares about that. And I think that what's going to happen is they're going to see all these providers not doing the monitoring, and they're just taking advantage of it. And it's going to ruin it for all of us. That's my opinion. So if you want to talk about how to do it the right way, that's what we do. That's like our slogan, RTM done the right way. A full service remote providers, a team of people that actually engage with the patient. Um, I'm also going to, at the end of this video, I'm going to put a link in the description here that's going to give you access to this guide. I wrote the Therapist Guide to Remote Therapeutic Monitoring. It's like a nice book almost that you can read and gives you some tips and some tricks on how to do this right. So I hope you enjoy what I'm talking about today. And if you have any comments or questions, concerns, just go ahead and leave it in the comment section. I'd love to talk more about this topic. I really am passionate about it and believe in what we're doing, but I don't want you to ruin it for everybody. So let's start doing it the right way.